Alrighty then, starting with build to scale, and you already know what I'm gonna say, maybe possible with robots. The flicking of the little nod into the widget, that sounded so wrong. It wouldn't be too difficult for a human to do, but I think with the precision of a computer or like a machinery, it could be easily done in an assembly line. Glee Club. Now, Glee Club, I'm going to put in really easy, because all you have to do is just basically do a choir, like students do this in real life in high school. It wouldn't be that difficult to just not be a complete dunce and speak when you're not supposed to. I feel like this would be a pretty easy one to accomplish. Buildbots. Now we're starting off DS with a pretty easy banger. This one also goes into maybe possible with robots. I mean, not much to explain there. You're literally just filling these up with gas. Fan Club. Another really easy one. Wow. Maybe the DS one is way easier than I thought. Yeah, all you're doing is clapping to the rhythm of a beat and listening to your pop idol sing. This is not the hardest thing in the world to do. Rhythm Rally. Ah, finally, we're back into the impossible territory. Yeah, so table tennis itself isn't that difficult to do. It's just doing it in a consistent pattern like it's shown in the game. Not feasible. For anyone who's played ping pong on their own, they know how difficult it is, much less keeping in tempo with the rhythm, especially in the second game where they do this nonsense. Yeah, I'm just gonna put this in impossible. Shoot 'em up. Now, depending on what you're actually doing in this video game, takes it from either really easy or impossible. If I'm assuming you're in the same plane carrier and need to have the same level of precision to shoot the enemies, then yeah, this is impossible. Especially when you consider that they're all coming at the same tempo, which no sane enemy would do if they're actually doing a real invasion. So yeah, impossible. Maybe with the computer, but that's assuming that this is a simulated battle and not real life. Bluebirds. Now, this one's another interesting one because it's either extremely hard or impossible. Because while I know you can train ducks to do tricks, I don't think you could do something on this level of synchronization. But if it's humans doing it, then maybe with the costume, but they would have to bend down really far. I don't know. I think this is impossible, y'all. Moai Doo-Wop. Impossible. I'm not gonna even consider the possibility of this happening. You literally have statues moving. Do I need to explain more? Love Lizards. Also impossible. Assuming you had real instruments, that would take this to really easy, but since you have to train the animals to do this, yeah, good luck with that. Crop Stomp. Okay, so this one might be possible? No, it's probably impossible. So, main problem with Crop Stomp is that you could technically do this with like balls, but assuming you have to stomp on the ground hard enough to dislodge moles and vegetables from the ground, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Those things are insanely ingrained and you need actual tools to remove some of these plants. Doing it with just your stomp, I don't care even if you are a giant, you're not getting them out of the ground, much less tossing them into your basket every single rhythm. Freeze frame. Now, I actually don't think this is an impossible one. I do think it will be extremely hard if you have it with robots simulating the cars going by, because then you have to just snap the shots perfectly. If you're expecting the drivers to drive by perfectly, yeah, that's impossible. There's no way drivers are going to be able to coordinate that precisely, as shown in the minigame. Dang, we were doing so good with Rhythm DS, what happened? The Dazzles. Alright, we're back on top. This one I think is pretty easy? Not really easy, because you still have to coordinate with the other girls, but it's not the hardest thing in the world to just do the whole window dressing thing. Pretty sure performers do this in real life. We're going back into the easy tier. Munchie Monk. Now, this one is not impossible. I wouldn't even say it's like extremely hard. I would put it in hard, because all you're doing is seemingly just hitting your hand hard enough to lodge boiled eggs into your mouth. Now, you would have to be a quick, fast eater, but there are professional eaters that do this stuff in real life, and I feel like if they were super easy to put down, as long as you had someone giving you water, this wouldn't even be that hard. Low key. DJ school. Assuming that it's the DJ training you need in real life, I would put this in easy. But looking at the minigame itself, it looks like he's literally just moving the disc back and forth, which puts this in really easy. So, yeah, no need to go there. Drummer duel. This one is, I would say, easy, not really easy, because you still need the skills and mechanical prowess to be able to hit the drum that fast, especially towards the end of the minigame. But all you need is like some stamina and a nice finger control, and you should be able to do this no problem. Love Lab. Now, this one is possible, I would say. It's extremely dangerous depending on what chemicals you're using in the lab, but assuming this is just like regular water with food coloring in it and not super biotic chemicals like, I don't know, bromine, then you should be fine. But if it's the latter, then it's probably death if you mess up, but still possible. Splashdown. Now, Splashdown is an interesting one because it's also things people do in real life, although it takes an immense amount of skill, and doing it as fast as they do in the minigame drains believability, especially with the dolphins and swiping it up in midair. Not saying it's impossible, but I say Splashdown is extremely hard, not gonna lie. It seems extremely difficult. Big Rock Finish. Replace the ghosts with humans, and this is a really easy one. Maybe easy because you need the guitar skills and you have to be drum fast enough. But if it's with humans, it's easy. If it's with ghosts, obviously it's impossible. Dog Ninja. This one, extremely hard or hard? I don't know. So, assuming that you have someone throwing the fruit to you, then this would just be hard. And I assume they're throwing it to you in the minigame, so yeah, I guess it'll be pretty hard. Because there's nothing really too hard about cutting up fruit. Like I said before, people do this in real life, and like in the previous video with Samurai Slice, you can actually find videos of this online, so I'd even say this is like possible, not even that hard. And maybe hard, because you still need to slash really fast. I don't know. Frog Hop. This is another easy tier. Not really easy, because you have to coordinate, and the spinning would be exhausting after a while, so you need some stamina. But I feel like with enough practice, anybody can do what's done in Frog Hop. Space Soccer. Up, back into the impossible train. Yeah, hitting and dribbling a soccer ball on your knees, completely hard. Takes some of the most elite athletes on the planet. Doing it in rhythm? Nah, impossible. Doing it in rhythm while you're flying upwards at a constant pace, in coordination with the other members? Completely unfeasible. I don't even know if a robot could be able to do this, I'm not gonna lie. This is absolutely unhinged. These space soccer players, y'all need some awards. This is crazy. Lockstep. So, coordinated dancing. Assuming you got enough costumes, you got enough pink to fill up another Barbie movie, this would be pretty, I would say possible. Not easy, because you still have to get on those on beats and off beats, but with practice, this should be pretty possible to accomplish. Rockers, another musical instrument one. This one is probably going into the easy category. Once again, you need the skills to be able to play the guitar, but in terms of what they're doing, it's just a regular performance, guys. Just a normal performance. Karate Man. So, I actually got some flack in the previous video for saying Karate Man was an extremely hard and not impossible, because I thought people could do this combo in real life. But on reconsideration, yeah, this would be insanely impossible and unfeasible to do. Karate Man DS, however, nah, this one's pretty possible. The main thing you have to worry about is, are these bombs real? And if they are, do they explode in your face? Because if they do, then missing one kick will be death, just like in Love Lab. But other than that, this should be pretty possible, I'm not gonna lie. Just take some nice athleticism and martial arts knowledge. Now, airboarders. Airboarder is a pretty interesting one because there aren't any hoverboards in real life, unless you counted the ones back in 2010s that were like semi-working, but not really. If you replace the hoverboards with skateboards, then I think it would be possible if there was an obstacle course to pull off what they do in this minigame. Now, it would be extremely hard because you would need like professional skateboarders, but I don't think it would be impossible at all. In fact, maybe it's even hard. Yeah, I would say it's not even extremely hard. You just need some really good skateboarders, but it's not on the brink of like human capabilities like some of these other games down here. Dear Lord. Coin toss. Pretty difficult. So, the minigame's definitely possible. The main hard part is just flicking the coin up with enough space and having enough room outside to make sure you can flick it up hard enough, and then catching it back in the way down. I would actually say this is extremely hard, low-key, because you would not only have to flick it with enough force to keep it airborne for as much time in the minigame as needed, but also you need to keep track of a tiny object in midair. Definitely would be pretty hard to do, I'm not gonna lie. And doing it as consistently as in the minigame, yeah, this is extremely hard. Is it harder than Splashdown? Nah, I just put it in extremely hard. Samurai Slice. Another extremely hard one. Like I said, it's definitely possible. You would just need some insane hand-eye coordination to kick the watermelon off the opposite side of the seesaw and slash it with the katana, but definitely feasible and possible. Tunnel. Now, assuming the woman isn't like a crazy psychopath who murders you for not playing the instrument correctly, this is a really easy one. All you have to do is tap, 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 but don't mess up, or, you know, she might eat your insides. Glass tappers. Another really easy one. This one's hilarious because the girl is the most easily entertained creature in the world, but all you have to do is tap the glass to like the beat of a song. This is something people do in real life. I don't even think it would be that, like, I think it's just really easy because it's just tapping. How hard could that be? Octopus. Alright, whatever this toy thing is, if it's with real octopus, obviously impossible. If it's with this toy that you squeeze and it spits out the conch, then doing what they do probably would just be hard. But there's nothing like this in real life, so I honestly have no clue. I'll just put it in like maybe possible with robots. I legitimately have no clue. Slot machine. Slot machine is interesting because it's basically just a casino thing. If it's the same way like in the game where you just have to time it to the beat of the song to do it perfectly, this is like probably the easiest one in Rhythm Heaven DS. But assuming it's like real casino, then it's probably just like an easy, like possible or easy. Rhythm dungeon. Impossible. This what even is this? Why is he waiting for the beat of the song to happen? And with that, that was all of Rhythm Heaven DS's minigames. Tell me what your thoughts are on comments below, as I think Rhythm Heaven DS is far more impossible than Rhythm Heaven Fever in terms of feasibility.